Hi everyone, this is Tanishka from Wellcure and I welcome you all in today's free masterclass on healthy cooking with nutrition by Vinita Contractor. Okay, so before we start, I would really like to introduce Wellcure very briefly. So Wellcure is an online platform for all your holistic and your health needs. We are now a community of more than 4.5 lakh people. We have helped 20,000 people in reversing their health as well as their lifestyle issues. We have 150 plus health programs and we are also associated with 20 plus health experts. We at Wellcare provide holistic health education, medical and nutritional consultations, health retreats. Basically, Wellcure is all about lifestyle healing and food. Okay, so what we'll be learning today? We'll be learning about the holistic nutrition basics, what, when, and how to eat for getting maximum nutrition and health benefits from our food. What else we'll be learning in the session today? How to take your first step to vegan and gluten-free cooking, how to start eliminating reducing oil from your cooking, and also how to work with sugar and dairy alternatives. We'll also be playing one recipe video for you all towards the end of the session, that is oil-free pakoras. So yeah, please stay tuned. Let me introduce today's expert, Vinita Contractor. She is a holistic nutrition and lifestyle coach. She has obtained her plant-based nutrition certificate from E. Connell and T. Colin Campbell Center for Nutrition Studies, US. And she has obtained her nutrition certificate from Precision Nutrition Canada. Raw Food Nutritionist Diploma course she has done from Center of Excellence, UK. She has obtained her Culinary Ruby World's Leading Ordinary Culinary School certificate. She has also done whole food plant-based nutrition consultations training from nutritionist Sharan India. She is also a certified Ayurvedic dietitian. She has done it from Kerala Ayurveda Academy. She has done her training in Nature Cure by Dr. Arun Sharma, Imana. She has obtained her Holistic Nutritionist Certificate AFPA US. Over to you, Vinita.
Good evening, everyone. A warm welcome to all of you. Lovely to see so many people. So before we begin, I'd quickly like to know where you're joining from. So please type in the chat box which city you're joining in from. I don't want to see the chat box quiet. Chennai. While people are signing in, if you want to put just a word or two about the reason for you joining this masterclass, I'd really like to know. Pune, lovely. In the meanwhile, I will share my screen. So I'm based in Mumbai, and I truly believe that health is something that we're all entitled to, and I love being a part of people's health journeys. My certifications, Tanishka has already given you a full detailed rundown. What I do is I do one-on-one coaching. I work with people for weight loss, disease prevention, reversal of lifestyle conditions, hormonal conditions, and autoimmune issues. I have e-learning courses for fermented foods and for dairy alternatives. And I also have a DIY juice cleanse program, which, one can do at any given time. And I also conduct cooking workshops for individuals and corporates. So a warm welcome. I'm glad you're here. And this is how a plant-based diet transformed my life. This is 2 years ago. Today I am 20. Today's 2024. I'm 48 years old. I have more energy than I've had ever in my life. I continue to up my fitness. do all the various roles in my life very, very comfortably. And the plant-based diet played a huge role in my being able to do that. These are my children who are even older now. So today's agenda is going to be discussing what is a plant-based diet, benefits of a plant-based diet, what are some of the food principles that will help you get maximum nutrition from a plant-based diet. Then what qualities should your food have, 4 pillars of healthy cooking, and how to cook, plan, and prep. How many people here already know of what a plant-based diet is? I'd like to see in the chat box, please. Thank you for your message, Jayalakshmi. This session will help. How many people don't know? We have 95, 96 people in the room right now. So let me share in any case. So a plant-based diet is food that comes from plant sources. So they are mainly fruits, vegetables, legumes, which could be your beans, dals, whole grains, nuts, and seeds. So everything that we possibly eat from a plant-based source is covered under these 5 categories. Foods made from refined flour, which is maida, sugar, hydrogenated vegetable oils are also all technically food which has come from plants, which is plant-based, but that doesn't make them healthy. So it's very important to understand plant-based, yes, but from a healthy plant-based source. So if you look on the left side, all the food that's there is also plant-based, but it's not something that will add to your health. While the pictures on the right are all unprocessed to that extent and are more health giving. So here are some of the benefits of being on a plant-based diet. You get great skin. It reduces reduction in breakouts and acne. It also helps with your hormonal balance, which in turn helps with getting great skin. It's good for your hair growth and in general having good hair. It results in healthy weight loss. It improves your thyroid levels and at times even reverses thyroid disorders. It improves PCOS conditions and at times reverses it too gradually with making dietary changes and lifestyle changes. So those of you who have any of these issues, right? Skin problems, hair problems, managing weight, want to reduce your thyroid levels, improve your levels, or want to improve your PCOS. In these conditions, a plant-based diet is great. And of course, if any of you or anyone in your family have diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, they are absolutely reversible on a plant-based diet. Now, isn't that a big enough reason for switching to it if you already haven't? And for those of you who are plant-based or not plant-based, but just want to learn healthy, this masterclass will help you. And those of you who want to prevent ever getting diabetes, blood pressure, cholesterol, this will really, really be useful. And I would like you to consider it because the other side is taking medication on a lifelong basis. Instead, if you make your lifestyle your medicine, which you can continue till the day till your last day on earth, it would be so much better because your quality of life doesn't change. It actually improves and you're not taking medicines for the rest of your life. That should be a very big reason why it would motivate people to consider a plant-based diet. I've worked with many clients. This is one of them who got a lot of benefit. She had PCOS. She was not getting her periods. And after starting with this journey, she started getting her periods regularly and balanced her hormones as well. There are many such. You can check on Google reviews. So what does a plant-based diet look like and how would you plan how much to eat of what? So fruits and vegetables are your base. They are to be had in the maximum quantity, more vegetables and as many colored vegetables as possible. But of course, they should be seasonal and local. We don't need to buy expensive exotic vegetables which are not grown here. The second is whole grains, which could be more protein rich. We need to not limit ourselves only to wheat, but look at other grains as well. Because in India, we tend to highly focus either on wheat or rice, but we have so many more. We have millets, we have buckwheat, we have Rajgira, Amaranth, and we can also use sprouted millets. The next would be your legumes, which are beans, peas, lentils, leafy greens, and in your high fat whole foods would be nuts and seeds. So, if you ask me what would be the ideal ratio of your food, your lunch, ideally should have half your plate should be of vegetables. So, it could be a mix of salad and cooked sabzi. That should be half your plate. And the balance should be quarter dal and quarter roti or rice. Ideally, during a meal, try and limit yourself to one grain at a time. It's easier for digestion and it also helps with losing weight because it makes the whole meal lighter on the system. You're not overeating. Any questions I would like to know so far? Any reason why you would have liked to go on a plant-based diet but have not been able to? I'm looking at the chat box, so please do share. This session will be so much more enjoyable if there is interaction. Because then I know you're actually here, you're engaging, we're having like a conversation. Otherwise, in an online mode, it's very hard to really know who's there behind the the black screens. Team Velcure, people are messaging saying that they're not able to send a message in chat.
No, they are able to. Actually, I am getting the messages.
I'm getting them as direct messages only.
Yeah.
That's how you have done the setting?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So whoever would like to message can directly message me. You can't put it in the group chat.
Okay. So, meanwhile, I can read it out for you when
I can
one.
read. I can read.
Oh,
It's coming to me as well, but I thought maybe because somebody messaged that unable to message in chat. You don't know what to eat, temptation of eating. So let's discuss what you can eat. So I've already given you an idea of whole grains, vegetables, fruits, seeds, nuts, legumes. Your protein sources are very, very important, and leafy greens. And I really want to say I'm someone who likes to travel a lot, and I travel not only in India but overseas as well. I can tell you, I haven't come across a country which has as much of diversity in our plant world. Every region in India has some vegetables, which are, of course, they're all over India, but every place has so many local vegetables which are so related to our seasons. It's unbelievable. So if you don't know what to eat, it's probably because you've not acquainted yourself enough with all that India has to offer, or maybe you're running short of time to make these foods. But I always feel in India we are so lucky that we not only have all the vegetables, but if we need, we can take help, whether it's hiring somebody or organizing for a tiffin service from someone who makes it at home. There's so many ways one can do it. But the point is, we need to understand how it will benefit you so that you can make those changes. Now, outside food, when we are eating, so I'm reading from the messages, the temptation of eating outside food. Let's understand that these foods that we're eating from outside are made in a way to tempt us because of the excess salt, fat, or sugar. So all these three are very addicting. So I know that is difficult, but if you reset your taste buds and start eating more home-based foods, you will prefer to eat that food only. Your mouth will take a while to get adjusted to it. In fact, now you will find home food like hospital food. Tell me if you agree and send me a smiley. People who are used to eating out will find outside food like hospital food. But The reverse also happens, that once you get used to eating wholesome home-based food, you will find the outside food extremely oily, extremely, high on salt. And you need to understand whether it is restaurants or it's packaged food. They are playing with our dopamine center in our brain, which is releasing pleasure when we eat extra salty food, extra fried or oily food, or when we have foods which contain a lot of sugar. So you decide, whatever your height is, for example, you're 5 feet 5 inches, okay, or whatever your height is, are you going to compromise on your overall health of the entire body, which is 5 feet 5 or whatever, for a 3-inch tongue? Because I can bet you that the feeling of eating and feeling good is only for the period that you're actually eating it. After you've eaten the meal, either you're feeling too heavy or too sluggish, or there's a guilt that, oh my God, how much have I eaten? Because when it's extra salty, extra sugary, or extra oily, or rich in fat, it makes you overeat. And that does not leave you feeling good. How many people here, you can raise your hand quickly, uh, do not experience lightness in their body, and because of eating out or overeating are feeling a lot of heaviness in their body? Can you put your virtual hand up in the messages? Yeah. And in that heavy stage, neither does work happen easily. And it's it attracts us to do things which also make you sluggish. So you'll notice, if you feel light, you will prefer to go for a walk, you would prefer to exercise, you would prefer to finish your chores which are there. But when you're feeling heavy, you're most likely to sit on your phone, most likely to sit on your iPad, or a TV, to watch things. You will procrastinate, you will delay things. Yes, and of course, bloating, acidity, digestive issues. So actually, what you need to chase is lightness, because once you start feeling light, you automatically become more active, and that helps you with healthy weight management. Yeah. Those of you who are intently listening and saying that, hey, this is making sense, I do need to make a change in my diet. Yes, it's difficult, but I do realize, I do understand how a healthy diet, which makes you feel light but gives you energy, will actually create a ripple effect on your overall health. Those of you who agree, I'd love to hear in the chat box. And I'm going to continue with my presentation. Yes, so this is what your lunch plate should look like. Eat more whole foods. Now, I know we are all used to white rice, but that's what makes us eat more, because the fiber is taken out. That's what makes the glycemic index of our food go up, because there's less fiber in the food. So switch to semi-polished rice. Need not go to brown rice immediately. Make that switch. Okay. Make it tasty by adding vegetables. You can add a few nuts, or you can add a little coconut milk to just make it a little rich in a pulao form. Or if you make even plain rice, but make good gravies along with it, you can enjoy rice, but eat far less, just because it will keep you full. It'll make you full much faster. Now, instead of sugars or even jaggery, because jaggery is the same inside the body, or jaggery powder, or any of these date syrups, etc., or any sweeteners, try and sweeten your food as much as possible with dates, or with raisins, figs, jardalu. Because again, I give this example often of eating pork and eating a lint or a munch. A munch costs how much and a lint costs how much? Now, obviously, it's not about the money. It's about how much sugar is added to the munch and how much sugar is added to a dark chocolate. Once you get used to eating chocolate which has less sugar, you will find the munch or the perk to be extremely sweet. So once your palate gets used to it, you will find a kheer or whatever made with dates sweet enough. So you just need to start making that change and eat more whole foods, reduce animal-based foods and processed foods. And when I mean processed food, it also means your Coke, all the sodas, tea, coffee, because they are processed. They are plant-based, but they're still processed. Instead, try and eat more fruits in a day. How many people here eat fruits at least twice in a day? Please say yes in the chat box. Now I see the chat box buzzing. So most people are saying once. So try and include once more in the evening instead of this evening time where you feel like having, some chaat, or you feel like having some, bhel or whatever, or some fried food or just tea or coffee. Sorry, I'm trying to switch between the chat and my PPT. Yeah. So try and incorporate fruits once more in a day. And similarly, if you increase your dals, your legumes, your nuts and seeds, you will find that it helps with satiety. It makes you feel full. I don't know again how many people have noticed when I eat out, the vegetables are so overcooked that you don't feel satisfied. You tend to feel satisfied more because of the gravies, which are very rich. But nutritively, actually, your body hasn't got enough. So I really don't enjoy eating vegetables which have nothing, no crunch left in them. They're completely cooked to death. And we Indians tend to do that because we overcook to make the masala get into everything. But that really reduces the nutrient value of our vegetables. So what is stopping you from adopting a healthy plant-based diet? Some of you mentioned the temptation of eating outside food. What else? How do people get iron through a plant-based diet? You just need to focus on eating a varied diet, a diverse diet. You don't specially have to do anything to eat extra iron-rich foods necessarily. If you eat your raisins, your dates, if you're eating all the green leafies which are in season, you don't need to do anything extra for iron. So if you're getting a lot of cravings, remember your gut microbiome has loads of bacteria. That's how our whole gut is. And the more sugar we eat, the more those bugs which eat the sugar as their food tend to grow. So it's like the more you eat, the more you will give rise to the bacteria which like sugar, and that will keep making you crave. So if you want to break that cycle, you will have to start consciously eating more of the dry fruits, like I mentioned, the dates, the figs, the apricots. Start consuming fruit and slowly starve the sugar craving bacteria, and automatically your cravings will go less. And most people crave sugar when they are low on energy. So check, why are you low on energy? Are you not sleeping enough? Are you not resting enough? Are you being on the screen too long without taking a break? Are you, not getting enough exercise? And because of which, when you're low on energy, you take, the body then craves the easiest form of glucose. Yes. So you need to work on how to manage your work better, how to sleep better, because it's a vicious cycle. The more you'll eat sweet, the more you'll get that high and then a crash. Have you experienced that, Vedika? You get a high and then a crash, and then you again want the sweet. And that's not only adding to your calorie intake, but it's also resulting in you not forming a healthy relationship with the other aspects of your life, which are managing your work, your sleep, and your stress. So let's talk about what role does food play in our life? Why do we eat? Other than nutrition and energy, give me other reasons in the chat box as to why we eat food. What role does it play in our life other than giving us fuel, energy, nutrition? Okay, health, healthy organs, emotions. Okay, we feel like eating something sometime. So I have this thing, once in a while it's been so long since I haven't eaten this. Oh, it's been so long since I've not had a samosa. Oh, it's been so long since I've not, once in a while I will eat this. Once in a while I'll eat that. But today with so much availability of different kinds of food, that once in a while can be an exception almost on a daily basis. Do you agree? With Zomato, Swiggy being so convenient, there is no need to even crave. Earlier hota tha ki you had to tell your mom, mama, please make, or you have to tell somebody, or you would make it for yourself. But today it's so easy that you just think of something and you can make it. So the exceptions are happening not just for weddings and festivals as they used to be, they are happening all the time. So emotional eating, for feeling good, for pleasure. Yes, there's also we express love, especially in our Indian culture, we express love through the food that we make. So a mother will always say, eat more. Guests will, guests are always told, eat properly, eat more. People will over serve you. It's also comfort. When you come back home after a long trip or you're not well, you want to eat your home comfort food. And if it's happening on a daily basis where you're wanting comfort food, then you need to check back and see, how am I leading my life that I am not getting the normal comfort, but I'm needing it through food. Food is a fuel source. Yes, it is all these things also. But first, if we are not serving our health, then all of these can just become addictions. A sense of community is formed, a social gathering kind of feeling when you sit and eat with people. It reduces stress. It also acts as a reward. Oh, it's my birthday, so I can treat myself. Oh, I, got a bonus, so I can treat myself. Oh, I can afford to. So it's a sense of power also. Oh, I can spend 5,000 rupees on a meal, so I will. Okay. So all I'm saying is that there are all these reasons, but let's make this 20% of the time and let 80% of the time be about fueling your body with the most energizing, healing, and healthy food. Because right now, most often it's 30-70 or 20-80, where 20 is health and 80 is for all these reasons. Not for everybody, but people who are facing health issues, check how often are you eating for sustenance and how or for just health, and how much are you eating for these reasons. None of these reasons are wrong, they're just happening too often. Do you agree? I'm looking at the chat box while I'm waiting for your messages. Why do we cook? Why don't we just pluck and eat raw stuff? So when we cook, it destroys the harmful germs in the food, if any. It makes the digestibility better. It makes absorption of the food better. It also very often improves the texture, taste, flavor, and the bioavailability. What do we mean by bioavailability? It unlocks the nutrition in the food. And when you eat warm, nourishing, comforting food, it feels good. But we also need to take into account, we don't always improve the food's texture, flavor, and appearance. We actually spoil it by deep frying, by overcooking, by over frying, or using too much oil. We're actually killing the nutrition and eating like dead food. So that's the fine line which we need to understand. Yes, cooking is good for our digestive system, for our absorption. But if you're cooking, overdoing the cooking, then it's actually harmful. Using the oil repeatedly, a lot of people who like to eat their bhajiyas or whatever, we know, right, how often the oil is reused. It's not the same oil, fresh oil that you would use at home. Or even, when you eat out, the oil quality that is used is not the best quality. So what are the features or qualities that your food must have so that the food is qualifying as healthy food? It should be fiber rich. The fiber rich food can be found in all fruits, vegetables, whole grains, and legumes, because they all have their own fiber. Some are insoluble fibers, some are soluble fibers, but all contain fiber. Animal-based foods does not contain fiber. And that is what makes elimination of it difficult. That's what makes digestion of that difficult, and is heavier on the system. You need to cook it appropriately. Like I said, not overcooking and not undercooking. Now imagine if you undercook rice, will you be able to digest it? And if you overcook your palak, you've like completely like made it lose its color, etc., then it's overcooked. People saying dating raw is better. One second. Many people are saying raw is better than cooked. So yeah, so raw food has a place in our diet, which is cooked in our salad form, or even our fruits are raw. But going completely raw is something that is done by people either as a matter of choice, or when they're trying to reverse a very chronic health condition. For normal people like you and me, can all of us go raw completely? Will we feel satisfied going raw completely? I'm trying to talk to an average person who is stressed working, who has limited access to how much time they can spend in the kitchen. I'm just saying take your existing food and make it healthy. I'm not saying completely switch to a diet which is difficult to sustain unless you personally prefer it. People who like raw food are most welcome to do it, but you should take into account that all your nutritional needs are met and you should consult with somebody who knows what they are doing so that you don't become deficient in, over the long run. Yes. So the third quality is it should be tasty, right? If it's not tasty but it's very healthy, you're not going to eat it, right? So it needs to be tasty. It needs to be safe with least amount of toxins. And what do I mean by least amount of toxins? As much as possible, try and buy organic, naturally grown food, minimally processed food, because whenever we are processing the food, a lot of chemicals are added to it, right? At the back of the label, you read something is added as a preservative, an emulsifier, a flavor enhancer. All these are toxins. So it should be safe, and it should also, like if you're eating a salad, you should ensure that you've cleaned the leaves and cleaned the vegetables in such a way that you're not getting the harmful bacteria into your system by not cleaning the salad properly. So it needs to be safe. It needs to be bioavailable and diverse. So again, what I mean by bioavailable, if you're eating food in such a way that it's not actually easy to digest, then it's it's not getting absorbed into your body. Ayurveda says eat what you can digest. So for some people, too much of dals is not digested by them. For some people, raw food just doesn't work for them. So that means it is not bioavailable to you because it's just straining your digestive system and you're just eliminating it. So cook appropriately, or if you're eating raw food, eat at a time where you feel you can digest it the best. And when I mean diverse, means don't only stick to your cauliflower, peas, carrot, French beans, because honestly, these are not actually seasonal at all times. We are limiting ourselves to eating only some of these vegetables and forgetting all our indigenous, all our gods, all our interesting vegetables, interesting fruits. We will spend sometimes on a dragon fruit or kiwi, but not eat, our Indian grapefruit or Indian jamuns or whatever is in season. So eat a diversity of different dals. In India, we can do a different dal every day, literally for the whole week. Eat different millets, different grains. And then last thing would be making sure that your food is nutrient dense, not just calorie dense, but nutrient dense. So if you see the first letter of all the qualities, FATSBN. Yeah, so just for a fun thing for you to remember, fat say bachna, BN, bachna. Okay, it just will help you remember. Fiber rich, appropriate cooking time, tasty, safe, bioavailable, diverse, and nutrient dense. I hope this helps you to check in your mind when you're eating something as to, is this healthy food? Does it have all the qualities? So there are 4 pillars of what you need to keep in mind when it comes to healthy cooking. How much of raw food are you eating in the form of fruits, vegetables, salads, and smoothies? So of course, raw food is a part of a healthy diet. What are your dairy and sugar alternatives? How are you going to organize those? How are you going to make those? How are you going to make your food oil-free and nutritious? We'll be showing you how the oil-free pakoda is made, and a bit of fermented foods, because that helps with how fermented they increase the bioavailability and they increase the probiotics in your food, in your gut as well. So how do you eat or cook healthy? I've mentioned all this. Veggies do not overcook. Fruits use as a substitute over other snacks in the evening. Try and make oil-free, sugar-free snacks, because that's the time most people tend to make bad choices at 4 or 5 at this time. After this webinar, or probably during the webinar you're eating, just check what you're eating. Is it nutrient? Is it oil-free? Is it sugar-free? Is it salt? Not over doing the salt at this time. And incorporate sprouts, because they are very good for from a nutrition standpoint, very high in fiber and very easy to make. So how do you reduce your oil? Use nuts and seeds in your cooking. Coconut also can be used in small quantities, of course, but they give a lot of flavor and they eliminate the need for actual oil, because anyway, oil is made from these nuts and seeds. Use the right cookware, which will help you cook without oil. Use heavy bottom pans, clay pots, or iron kadhais. That really helps with, because they are thick, you can cook without using oil. And using techniques which I show in my healthy cooking class in the workshop, which Team Velcure will be talking to you about. You want to see the last two slides again? Okay, let me just go back. Sorry. Here. One more. Okay. And to reduce you're welcome. To reduce your sugar intake, try and use more dried fruits, the pictures of which I've put here. Dried fruits are not nuts. Dried fruits are fruits which are dried. And just to make a transition, you can switch to jaggery, but in small quantities, because even jaggery is not really from a blood sugar angle. Jaggery also spikes up your sugar. You could look at stevia in its natural form, the leaves or the green powder. You could look at any other substitutes which are not very processed. But easy and simple is dry fruits. Now, this on the left is my menu, which I make at home. I've made for breakfast, lunch, after school snack, dinner. If you plan like this for the week, it makes life much easier, because you know what groceries to call, what to soak, because on a plant-based diet, you almost every day end up soaking some dal, or to make some sprouts, or to soak some millet, some rice, something needs to be soaked. Vegetables need to be procured. So all that, once you have a meal plan, a menu made for the week or for the month, that helps with your prepping. The classes are usually in English because that's the language of the course as well. If there's anything you don't understand, please feel free to ask. Maple syrup is firstly not native. It is not Indian. It's very expensive. And thirdly, most maple syrups are not original. They are just sugar syrups. And the ones that are original are good as a treat. They are not, they still will spike up your sugar. So plan for 3 days or a week, or, at least one day before, plan for the next day. Do a good balance of how much raw and how much cooked food you will have, how many grains you're going to consume. So you, like I said, plan for a different dal as often as possible. Try for a different chapati as much as possible, or your grain, whether you're having like a millet in a rice form or millet in a roti form. Plan all that and make sure that there is enough variety. And I feel it works very well if you sit down on a Sunday and sit with your family and factor in what people like, don't like, so that you are not stressing, trying to please everybody. And at the same time, everybody is involved. So then nobody can complain, because it's been decided, asking the people who are, particular about their food as to what they want to eat. So involve these three things: balancing of your food, involving your family, their likes and dislikes, and figure out the duration for how long you want to plan for. Molasses is also not very different. Again, it's not very practical to include molasses in everything that we make. So you can plan for 14 meals. If you're doing for a week, you can try 4 types of snacks: sour, sweet, salty. And when we mean fried, we mean the kind we're going to show you in the fried pakoda recipe right now. Which kind of salads are you going to do? Are you going to do with simple salads, or with dips, or with the dressing? Plan that. And when we talk of micros and macros, macros are the foods that you need in large quantity, which are your proteins and your carbohydrates. And the micros are your smaller micronutrients, antioxidants. Those are your smaller ones. So make sure you're paying attention to the micros, because macros we tend to, carbohydrates nobody eats less of. But fruits and vegetables we tend to eat less. the healthy fats from seeds, and seeds we tend to eat less. So keep your focus on that as well. And it's easier to plan and note down at one shot. So I can't give you, I can't stress enough about how important it is to plan ahead. And prepare, the meaning of the word prepare is keeping ready in advance. So soaking every night, make sprouts, which you can use for salads as a grain replacement. You can also make curries with sprouts. Make date paste in advance for a few days. It helps you with making your smoothies sometimes, in desserts. You can prepare lemon juice in advance and keep, so it's quick to use for salads and for a quick drink if you want to make. So again, in an ideal world, everything should be fresh, should not be overheated, should not be stale food, as they say. But any day, home cooked food stored in the fridge is better than eating from a restaurant or ordering in. It is still better. Micro nutrients are the ones we need in small quantities, which are your vitamins, antioxidants. These are your micronutrients. And macronutrients are what you need in a larger quantity, which is protein, carbohydrates, and a small amount of fat. Those are your macros. Now, tubers and roots, like whether it's your arbi or yam, or any of the seasonal roots and tubers, or sweet potato, are great for, once you steam them, you can use them in salad, you can use them as a sabzi, you can use them in your stir fries. Dips and chutneys again can be made in advance and kept. You can make your chutney, or simple dhania kothmeer chutney for a week. You can make some dips and keep without using oil and mayonnaise and all of that. You can use a few nuts and make interesting dips. You can plan and make your plant-based preparations for nut butter, nut milk, etc. in advance. And most important, make your snacks on a Sunday, and so that you have something every day when you're hungry in the evening. You're not reaching out for those packets in the evening at 4 or 5 o'clock. You can roast some nuts, you can roast some makhana, you can make a seed mix, you can make laddus. You can basically prepare and keep things depending on what you or your family like. Some people get sweet cravings, some people get namkeen cravings. So plan and keep those as much as possible ready. So I hope, from the perspective of what can you do to start eating healthy, you have enough ideas to start with for now. And if you later, after the session, have any questions for me, you can contact me on this mail address or this number. This is my website. And you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube with the same name, Vinita Contractor. We will be showing you now a recipe, which is a very, very tasty and easy recipe. And then we will talk a bit further. So I'm going to stop screen sharing. Is Team Welcure ready with the recipe?
Yes, we'll just play.
Yes. So I'm just going to stop screen sharing. Yes, go ahead.
Now we come to our favorite snack, a pakoda, which most of us enjoy with a regular cup of chai, but now you're going to enjoy it with a herbal tea. And instead of deep frying it, we're going to do it a completely different way. Secondly, this is called the oil-free, fiber-rich pakoda. Why is that? Usually, pakodas are made from Bengal gram, which is besan atta. But in this recipe, in addition to the atta, we're going to put a whole lot of veggies. In fact, you'll see that the proportion of veggies, these 4 bowls are all vegetables, and besan is only so much. So that's why it's fiber rich, and let's see how we make it oil free. So we add all the vegetables into a mixing bowl, a big bowl. The cabbage, which is grated, carrot, which is grated, onions, which we usually do add to pakodas, thinly sliced, capsicum, thinly sliced. For keeping it easy to digest, a besan can be quite heavy to digest, that's why ajwain is added. So ajwain and chili powder, Some greens have to go in, so coriander, and now the besan. So the trick is to add salt now. Now the idea is to massage the vegetables so that they release their own water, and that's what is used for binding the pakoras. We don't add any water. As you can see, it's releasing water and it's absorbing the besan. So I'm not going to add any water unless needed. I'm just going to dip my hands in water so it makes it easy for the dough to leave my hands. And you'll find it much easier to deal with the dough just by I just dip my hands in water and that's it. So these are now ready. The dough is ready. And now we can make small pakoras. Don't make them very big because if you make them very big, they'll not cook through. So just keep them small. So once our dough or batter is ready, on the side keep a steamer ready. It can be a regular steamer or it can be an idli steamer. Keep it ready for steaming and we place all the pakoras first to steam. So we took the batter of the pakoras, made them into balls and then steamed them for 10 minutes. A good way to know whether they are done is to put a toothpick through them, and if it comes out dry, then you know they're ready for the next stage. The next stage is moving them to the oven. The basic idea is they should be firm and hard enough, and basically the besan has to be cooked because veggies don't take time to cook. And by doing this two-step process, we are ensuring that everything gets cooked and we get the crunch. That is what we want, right? In a pakoda, you don't want a soft tasting pakoda, you want a crunchy pakoda. And you're doing this without the use of an air fryer, just with a steamer and your good old oven. So in the oven, this goes for 10 minutes. Always preheat the oven before using so that you can actually calculate the real time of baking. Because if you say 10 minutes and your oven is cold, a couple of minutes will go in just the oven getting heated up. So 10 minutes after preheating.
Okay, so now we would like to share the details of the courses that we have with Vinita. Then we'll be taking up more questions.
Yes, I will take questions after you've finished with this. Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
I can see a
So,
few questions.
yeah, we have this course by Vinita herself. It's healthy vegan Indian cooking. So what we have covered in this course? We have covered in the basic, we have divided into different modules. So I'll be just sharing what modules we have covered this course into and what are their content. So first module is basic cooking method. We have covered cooking tools, blending, juicing and grinding, cutting and chopping method, sprouting method, steaming method, and baking method as well. What we have covered next in the Let's Start Cooking module, we have covered fruit smoothie, vegetable juice, Buddha bowl salad, peanut dressing, sesame chutney, sweet potato sabzi, Malabari mushroom curry, seasonal greens with cashew stir fry, pumpkin soup. There are two recipes of pumpkin soups. That's why we have written that in the bracket. We have covered cold cucumber soup, lemon rice, red rice dosa, pumpkin carrot dal, and much more. Under the head of beverages, we have covered two drinks, herbal tea and the basil lemon drink. What are the healthy alternatives? As Vinita already covered this in her presentation, but we have also we have different 4 videos basically. We have different 4 videos on plant-based nut milk, nut butter, sugar alternatives, grain alternatives. What have we covered under snacks and desserts module? We have covered lauki ki kheer, amaranth pistachio cookies, protein laddus, and oil-free pakora. The recipe we just played for you. So in short, what you are getting with this course, you will be getting 4+ hours of content, 40+ video lessons, 90+ recipes. It can be both videos and text. You'll be getting 2 recipe ebooks along with this course, and access to this course will be shared for 1 year as this is a pre-recorded course. Once you are done with the course, you'll also be getting certificate of completion. Okay, so you can get this course at just 699, whereas the actual price was 999. You can just see it that you will be getting 2 recipe ebook along with this course. This offer is only valid for today. You can scan the QR code, which is clearly flashing on your screen, or you can just make payment via UPI, GPay, or Paytm, and PhonePe also. The number is clearly flashing on your screen. What you have to do is you just need to share the payment screenshot along with your details, name, number, email ID, and city. Vinita, can we take questions now?
Yes, we can.
Okay.
So is a popcorn healthy as a snack if it's homemade? So per se, most of the corn that we are getting today is genetically modified. It's American corn. Secondly, we tend to add some amount of oil or salt for making the popcorn. And the more the oil, the more people tend to like it, or more the salt. So I wouldn't say it's completely a no-no, but I wouldn't say eat popcorn on a regular basis. Maybe once in a week is okay, because it does have protein content, so it's fine. If you can eat a fruit before you eat that popcorn snack, or if you could have some cucumber steaks, carrot steaks, or hummus along with it, then that would make your portion of protein that you sorry portion of popcorn that you eat less. Is the stevia in the market available pure? You'll have to do some research. There are brands which sell just light green powder of the stevia, because what it contains is only dried stevia leaves. That's the kind that is less processed. And will we get a link of recording for the session? Team Velcure, will they?
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll get a recording. Any more questions? I'm happy to take. Please shoot. Thank you so much. I'm getting messages saying thank you. Very welcome. I hope in this session you've understood a lot of at least the basics of how to start, where to focus, in what proportion to eat your food, and how much pre-planning and preparation makes a difference. Thank you.
Okay, if there are no other questions, we would like to wind up now.
Yeah, let's wait for a minute. Maybe people are still typing.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can just say that this course is a very comprehensive course. I'm extremely happy with how it's turned out. And I personally recommend it for anyone who wants to take a step towards eating healthy and cooking healthy. Yeah, I think there are no more questions, so we can wind up. Thank you so much for all of you who stayed till the end, and thank you, Team Velcure.
Thank you everyone for joining in. We would like to wind up now.
Yes, Vedika, it can be cured to a large extent. Thyroid needs to be looked at as an individual case, and then I can tell you. Do you offer any course on certification? I didn't understand that question. This course, you get a certificate.
Yeah, a participation certificate you will be getting.
Yes.
A certificate of completion, basically.
Yeah. No, I don't take a certified nutrition course. Thank you. Have a nice evening.
Thank you everyone for joining in. We are winding up now.
Thank you, Team Velcure.